Hey everyone, welcome to Alpha Insights. I'm Asher.
And I'm Sarah. Good to have you with us this morning.
And hey, if you have questions while you're listening, drop them at stockalpha.ai. There's a Q&A feature and we check it live.
All right, let's dig into today's big theme. Policy headlines driving cannabis markets rather than earnings. Lots happening at the state level.
Exactly. So, the real question here is, which of these state moves actually matter for the broader sector? We got wins in Alabama and Oklahoma and, well, more confusion out of Texas. Let's start with Alabama. After years of delay, operators are saying retail medical sales look close to launching.
Right, local shops like Callie's Apothecary in Montgomery are prepping to open. That creates fresh retail demand in a new state market, which can ripple to regional partners and distributors.
And to add to that, multi-state operators that secure licenses or partnerships could see incremental revenue as that local demand ramps up. I mean, when you look at the data, early openings tend to lift names with direct exposure.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Short reaction.
Right.
Now flip to Oklahoma. Lawmakers rejected a bill that would have expanded employers' rights to fire medical patients. That removes one potential regulatory headwind for patient access and workforce stability.
Exactly. That vote keeps the status quo for now, which is positive for patients and businesses that rely on medical consumers. But honestly, I was a bit surprised by this one. Legislative wheels can turn again.
Short reaction.
Interesting.
Then there's Texas. And this is the tricky bit. New hemp rules have advocates warning that enforcement could ramp up, and that could lead to more raids on shops selling hemp-derived THC products.
Which is a big deal because Texas is a large consumer state. Confusion about permissible products raises compliance and legal risk for retailers and extractors until regulators spell out clear standards.
So, watch for any clarifying guidance from state agencies. Enforcement headlines there could create short-term volatility for supply chains across the region.
And then there was a narrative fight in New York. Anti-cannabis group critiques of the market got pushed back by analysts and industry outlets, saying the data don't support the dire claims.
Right. Sales and regulatory metrics aren't lining up with the loudest critiques. The takeaway? The narrative is shifting toward regulatory maturity, at least in the eyes of some observers. Now, practical market implications. Policy is the primary near-term catalyst right now, not corporate earnings. That means ETFs and a handful of liquid names often lead intraday moves when a state update drops.
Analysts note that ETF flows in big names typically amplify moves. So keep an eye on the major sector ETF and companies like Trulieve, Green Thumb Industries, Curaleaf, and Tilray for reactions to headlines.
Totally. And a quick reminder, this is informational market analysis, not investment advice. Analysts suggest sizing positions with regulatory risk in mind, because sudden legal shifts can drive volatility.
So what should listeners watch today? Alabama rollout timing and any retail opening notices, Texas enforcement actions and agency clarifications, and New York market data responses to arguments about failures.
Plus, court challenges or new bills on employment protections that could pop up. Those administrative moves are what will move prices today, not quarterly earnings for most cannabis operators.
Exactly. And remember, if you're tracking the sector, keep an eye on headlines and state calendars rather than expecting a steady earnings cadence like other industries.
Let's wrap up with the key takeaways.
First, Alabama and the Oklahoma vote reduce regulatory drag and support continued normalization of state markets.
Second, Texas rule changes increase enforcement uncertainty and could be a near-term headwind for hemp retailers and extractors.
Third, the New York data pushback suggests the public narrative may be shifting toward more confidence in regulated markets.
And lastly, policy, not earnings, will likely drive sector moves today. So trade the headlines and size positions with regulatory risk in mind.
Got questions? We'd love to hear from you. Head over to stockalpha.ai where you can ask us anything and we'll answer live. And while you're there, check out more market content.
That's it from Alpha Insights. Catch you tomorrow, and thanks for listening.